Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Pregame Show presented by Pointsbet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Cubs and Reds at beautiful historic Wrigley Field, as Corey likes to say. Corey Friedman in the house, Cody Delmendo. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. And, we thought, how are we going to amp up this game? Well, this is it. We opened the door. Corey walked in. We've amped it up. There it is. Yesterday we talked about they need to win one in the series to avoid entering July in last place. So far, that still holds true. They still need to win one in this series. And I question, will this be the Justin Steele revenge game? Because in his last 10 games, Justin Steele has been spectacular, minus that really, really bad game against the Reds where they ended up scoring 25 runs. But he's got a lot of last 10 starts, 3 runs or less 8 times. So he's looked really good. Will he get revenge against the Reds tonight?
I sure hope so, man.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm personally, for me, myself, and I am looking for 5 strikeouts from Justin Steele tonight.
For financial reasons.
But also, we need should we call it a bounce back, or can we just call it the Jonathan VR ruining his stat line?
Yeah, that's totally.
I don't know, but his last start, if you look at the box score, it's not great. I blame Jonathan VR for that, and I don't feel bad for bringing it up because they DFA'd him because he stinks. Do I need to mention again that Jonathan VR stinks? No. He stinks.
No, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. He probably knows it.
I'm sorry. Sorry to start the show with just going off on Jonathan VR. Didn't get to do it because he got DFA'd over the weekend.
And
so,
given his
I'm getting it out.
Release today.
Yeah.
Cubs gave the release.
See ya.
Surprisingly, nobody wanted to trade.
Shocking. They saw his defense,
I
and
can't
nobody
believe
bit,
it. I'm so shocked. I'm sorry.
Anyways, Steele, like I said it last night on postgame. Last 10 starts, 2, 1 run, 1 run, 3 runs, 7 runs, no runs, 1 run, 2 runs, 2 runs. I mean, 5 runs was in there, but like we said, the 5 was VR. So if you take those out, and I know you can't do it, it's 2-1, 1-3, 0-1, 2-2. That's a good major league starter.
He's been great, and the VR game with Steele kind of reminds me in a different way of Thompson's start last night, where we end up looking at the line. It looks a little worse than I think we felt it deserved. We all debated, should he have gone back out there for that last inning? The answer for most of us was no, but they wanted him to push through, get more pitches and try to keep adding length. And I think the same has been true of Steele in some of those starts, where I think the only thing that really matters is at the end of the game, do we look at it and go, this was a really nice outing and progress towards what we're working for? So last night with Keegan, he ends up with 4 earned, but the body of work felt really, really good. No walks, 8 strikeouts. That's what I'm looking for Steele tonight. I don't really care about the numbers so much. What his ERA is, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as we feel like this guy is putting together quality major league starts.
As long as the eye test tells you.
Yes, and we're making that progress with those 2 guys in particular. And as you're reading off those lines, he's been doing that more often than not.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a time, even early in the season where we were wondering, is he going to fit into this rotation? And I think everybody, I'll repeat this 1,000 times, everything is way too early. People, we rushed to judgment on Morel. It's too early. We rushed to judgment on Seiya. Too early. Thompson, too early. Steele, too early. We may have rushed too early on Ian Happ. He's looked great now. Obviously, last season wasn't that way. A sample size in baseball is just more than a couple months. It just is. In general, to really know what a guy is, you've got to get some serious at-bats or /innings out of that player to know what you have.
Yeah.
And we don't know yet, but it certainly looks positive for Steele.
Overall, the body of work in the month of June for Justin Steele has been awesome. Entering June. So, okay, he had a start against Milwaukee on May 31st. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned. After the end of that start, he had a 5.40 ERA. it currently is down to 4.59. It was down to 4.27 before Jonathan VR decided to ruin our night. But he had almost taken a full run, or he had taken over a full run back of his ERA. He had cut it down. So, again, he's been pitching very well in the month of June. 2 starts where he went 7 innings on June 5th and June 13th. At least 5 innings the last 2. Almost 6. Again, would have been easy 6 if Jonathan VR didn't be bad at baseball. But I swear it's the last time I'm bringing it up.
That's it.
Okay? But,
Is he going to be banned like Sogard from the conversation?
I think so.
Did I say Sogard? Oh, sorry.
Brendan's not here. He might chime in a minute to yell at you, but I don't think it was that bad.
I think
splitting hairs.
As far as like his stat line, of course, yes, I want him to get 5 strikeouts tonight from my bank account. But like, I think the thing for him is what we say about Thompson too, like limiting the walks. Like, and Steele has been someone who will be really good for 3 or 4 innings, but then he loses command and he walks a few guys. Next thing you know, a few runs are coming in. And the one thing that you can say to spin zone that is he's managed to limit that damage a little bit, but in his best starts, like on June 5th and June 13th, when he went 7 innings, that the June 13th start against the Padres, 0 walks. And then somehow on June 5th against the Cardinals, he walked 3 guys and still managed to go 7 innings. But again, if there's any positive from the last start that he had, and I'm not mentioning the name this time, he didn't have any walks. So I really do think when he limits those walks, it allows him to go deeper in the games. And again, what he does for the rest of the year really means something, because not only could it potentially prove that he can be in the rotation, but he's also left-handed starter. And if you can develop your own homegrown left-handed starter, whether that guy's throwing 100 miles per hour or not, like that is good signs for the future. So, I'm just hoping, he gets back on track. Bounce back night, and revenge game. They lost 20-5 the last time he played the Reds.
That's right.
So, yeah, I'm looking for some consistency like we've seen all month of June.
Hey, Nick says that he finally made it to a pregame show. Welcome aboard. Thanks for hanging out, man. Good to see you. And also, I think it was Ravi said that he just had some Jetfire Gelato. Let's Cub together. I don't know what that is. Is that something I've been missing out on? Jetfire Gelato?
We'll get you some, Luke. I'll bring some next
Let's
time.
cub together.
Let's cub together.
We're going to be cubbing together tonight on the couch over here watching this game.
Yeah, Jeff Everson says VR was worse than unmentioned Sogard because we thought VR could be competent.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's not a bad argument.
You put
really.
up a 2.5 F4 last year. I thought he'd at least be not a minus WAR player.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it did not work out. So
yeah.
And I everybody's in on Nico. Everybody's excited about the start he's had to the season, both defensively, offensively. Somebody in the chat was just saying we don't need Correa unless he wants to play third base. And again, I'd say pump the brakes. Like, cool.
Brakes.
Love everything I'm seeing from Nico. Like, absolutely everything is trending in the right direction. And there's nothing you don't like about Nico Horner right now. But you could have both on the same team, and I'm not telling who to play where.
You worry about having too
later.
many good players
later. Much later.
And the benefit of what Nico's doing is that because he's showing that he can provide elite, top-of-the-league defense at shortstop, you know that he'll do that anywhere else. The other positions are easier. So, yes, you want that defense at shortstop, but if somebody does want to come here that's going to provide that big bat in the middle of the order, you move them around. It doesn't matter. You're going to get elite defense somewhere, and that's a good thing. You worry about that problem later. Too many good players is a much better problem than the problems that we have right now.
Yeah, I'll take Nico and Correa. I'll take Nico and Trey Turner. I'll take Nico and Xander Bogaerts.
Get them all.
Oh, let's do it. All of them.
All 4 of them.
Yes. Hey, by the way, Nico is playing so well that even the CHGO Sox guys are asking him about him now.
They have started asking.
He started to pique some interest. What's the F war?
2.2,
Yeah,
believe.
interesting.
Are we going to bring up the little tease?
The trade is coming. Somebody just asked about it there. That's second segment. I do want to quickly get to Seiya worked out at Wrigley Field, according to Ryan Herrera, our guy, who will join us on the postgame show tonight, said he will be starting his rehab assignment tomorrow. So that's good news. The finger did not flare up from batting practice yesterday, moving in the right direction. Really need to see Seiya Suzuki in the lineup a lot the last 3 months of the season. A lot.
Yes.
And start to find out what you have there. I noticed right away some of the guys in the chat were saying I think it was Jack R. said, love the lineup.
Yeah.
And you said that too. Is this one of your favorite lineups of the year, at least most satisfying, where you're like, okay, it is somewhat what we talked about last night in the postgame show?
It makes me feel things, Luke, because one, there's no Andrelton Simmons, there's no Jason Hayward, and there's no Jonathan VR. I mean, let's rejoice. We all work so hard to get to this point in our lives. Like, we deserve a nice ice cream cone from Cone across the street.
I think it's our tweets that finally paid dividends. David Ross is like, all right, fine, I'm going to give these guys a chance. Fine.
I mean, you love to see Nelson Velasquez there right in the middle of the lineup. Personally, I'd like to see him a little bit higher. Maybe, maybe it's too much to ask to put him fourth. But, I mean, he had a good series in St. Louis. Wisdom kind of struggled last night. I don't know, whatever. I do like seeing Horner fifth. And Rivas and Bodie had good nights last night, so I don't mind them seeing at the bottom there. And someone asked about Morel earlier. We talked about Morel last night. I said, am I concerned? Yes, I'm a little concerned. Am I saying we need to send him down? No, but I do think that we get him out of the leadoff spot, get him out of a pressure situation. Why not put Rafael Ortega in the leadoff spot? Because he's been killing it, increasing the trade value every single day. You love to see it. And we'll see what Morel can do at the bottom of the lineup. At the very least, he's a really solid, second leadoff guy when the lineup flips.
Yeah, so. I just noticed Garrick too far. I'm not even going to talk about it, but your comment about plums has now sparked the bots, the porn bots. Here we go. Here they go. They're back. So yeah, I agree. I like the lineup. There's not a defensive weakness that you see where you go, oh, come on, what are you doing? You're setting up Steele to be ruined by this. And the lineup for the players that you have now, I want to see what a lot of these guys want to do, and I'm interested at where they're at in the lineup. Ortega has earned the right to be the leadoff guy right now.
Yeah. And, I mean, they played him there for the first month and a half, and we all complained about it. Well, he was struggling, but right now he's red hot.
And showcasing him.
Yes. Yeah, showcase him. Yes, exactly.
All about showcasing. Look what he could do for your lineup.
God, I hate this.
Who did you bet on today?
Well, like I said, we're taking Justin Steele over 4.5 strikeouts. Someone put in there Nico Horner 2+ total bases at +130 on my favorite app, Pointsbet. We're riding Nico Horner red hot. I mean, he really is red hot. I think that if you can get that right now at that value, at those odds, it's a great bet. So again, I opened my favorite app this morning. And when I was in bed, Luke, before I went and rode on a boat for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's summertime, Cody.
I opened my favorite app up, placed those bets. I just love opening up PointsBet first thing in the morning. One, because I love to gamble on sports, and two, because it's the best way to support CHGO. And I love supporting CHGO. All right? And you should too. And if you download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up, if you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com and we'll help you out. Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. You see an edge in the game you're watching? Is your favorite team primed for a comeback? I mean, the Cubs have been down a lot this year. Maybe tonight's the night. If they get down early, you can live bet them, slam it, embrace it. Who knows? It's just plus money. And if they come back and win, you're sitting in the chat with me, and we're all excited because you won money and the Cubs won. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying it could happen. So don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. More live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash outs. Follow along with your bets the moment they hit and stay in the live action all game long. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game once the game starts. Don't just bet, live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
Katie has noticed Corey is in the house, beefing up our lineup today.
He's right there. Yeah.
Batting third, or do you prefer leadoff?
I feel like I'm more of a pitcher. I'm like the stopper, you know?
All right, yeah.
Cubs lost
He's the
yesterday.
pitching
You know what
weapon.
he certainly has a sweeping slider.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
question
yeah.
about it.
Well, last time Corey was here, instead of talking about the game, we ranted about how embarrassing the loss was.
The last time I was here, they got killed, and we were
19 to
here for
5.
100 hours. So hoping for better tonight. Yeah.
It can't get any worse than that, right?
So I mentioned in postgame last night that I had a trade idea during the game last night because I love to jab a little bit at the Sox guys. Hey, you guys need somebody. We got a guy. Hey, you need somebody. We got a guy. And I always say I want Andrew Vaughn, and they always get upset and sulk.
That's Sean's
and
guy.
They go back over and they sulk by the window, and they're like, that is not an offer. It's not off the table. So I came up with an offer that I think actually intrigued these guys. All three CHGO Sox guys said to my offer, which I'm about to tell you, I'd do that deal.
Mm-hmm. But they said that the White Sox wouldn't.
Han and the Sox won't.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you guys have power. Power in numbers. Get over there and start suggesting it. Here's my deal. And it's a risky one for the Cubs, but I don't think it's that risky because there is a high upside to it. I'm curious to see what Corey thinks because Cody at first was like, and by the end of the game, I was reeling him in. I had him hooked, and I had him at least near the pier. He was halfway back to the pier and my frying pan.
And I also had a very similar trade to what
you did.
To what Lou said, but the Sox guys were all out. They were not.
They were
in on
completely
that one.
out.
They were
completely out.
Either way, I'm gonna have to do some research. I don't really follow them. No offense to our CHGO Sox guys.
This is snap reactions.
Okay,
there's no research.
Oh,
involved.
I'll give you a reaction.
Okay,
Sure.
I say the Cubs should suggest to Rick Hahn. Hello, Rick. This is Jed Hoyer. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, let's have lunch sometime soon. I've got a couple of solutions for you that I think can help. I'm going to send you Patrick Wisdom to play third base for you guys. You're one of only 2 teams in Major League Baseball without a 10 home run guy on your team right now. Wisdom has got, 14?
14.
We've got a guy who solves your problem at third base, plays great third base, and finally gives you guys some guaranteed power in that lineup right now, which you desperately need. In addition, we're going to send you switch hitting, best season of his career, lots of upside, 1 more year of control, Ian Happ. Now he hangs up the phone and he says to Carter Hawkins, that's because we're going to trade him anyways, and he's not part of our future. We think we're trading high on him right now.
Okay.
Then
I'm
then he
far.
wink, and then Jed winks at Carter Hawkins like, wink, wink. This is what we're going to do. So I have given you what you're looking for. Not only have I given
And
you
they need a corner outfielder.
He's a switch hitter.
Yep.
You can bat left-handed. You're desperate for left-handed hitting.
And they're desperate for a right fielder.
They're desperate for a corner outfielder or a second baseman.
Yeah.
You could stick Ian Happ at second base.
You could.
I've solved like 3 issues for the White Sox that unquestionably makes them a better team this season, and they think this is by the way, it doesn't just help them for this year. It helps them next year when they're also in the window. Like the Ian Happ side of it for the Cubs is they don't know if he's going to fit into their window. That's what I believe. Like, do I think the Cubs should offer him a deal? Yes. I don't know that that's going to happen. So who do the Cubs get back in this deal? 1 guy. And it's a gamble, but it's a gamble with a high return. Yoan Moncada. He's been terrible since he had COVID. The Sox don't know what to do about it. They can't afford to keep playing Yoan Moncada right now. They can't afford to put Patrick Wisdom at third, hitting taters out left and right, and Ian Happ in the corner or at second base batting lefty, in his best season in the majors. The Cubs get Yoan Moncada, same age as Ian Happ.
5 more years of control. Or 3 more years.
But we have seen a glimpse of that guy who could be potentially an MVP type player. Like, he could be that good if he can recapture.
He had over a 4 WAR last year.
We have never seen Ian Happ be that guy yet. Now, that doesn't mean it couldn't develop into it this season, but Moncada has reached a higher point in his career than Happ has. Don't get me wrong. There's been some warts there too, but
now
that's a high gamble reward for next season.
Yeah. Now, my trade was that, but with Garrett Crochet included, because again, if you're going to take on a Yoan Moncada contract and on top of Yoan Moncada being so bad that he has a minus F WAR this year, I think that it's worthy to take on a pitcher who's going to have Tommy John and isn't even going to pitch until later next year, but has high upside if you're going to get Patrick Wisdom and Ian Happ. That's I think that's a better trade. And we're reading the comments, and there's some people who are like,
anything
sure, and some people are
Jack
like,
is
no.
anti. Jack is no. Jack's like, not enough, bro.
Yeah,
not enough. And
I agree. I think Ian Happ deserves something, at least a little bit more, because you're giving away a top 10 outfielder in the National League for a guy who, he has lots of control, and he hasn't played like the MVP type player that you thought he could be since 2019. People who think he was bad last year aren't paying attention. He was a 4 WAR player last year. He's off to an awful start this year.
Hasn't played well since COVID at all.
Right. He hasn't played to the level of 2019 since he got COVID going into 2020. But I think if the Cubs could somehow get him for Ian Happ, and you throw in Patrick Wisdom with that power and his control as well. It's not like, Jake Berger, he can play third, but his defense sucks too. Patrick Wisdom would be a great fit at third for them, honestly.
Cheap moving forward.
Exactly. He'd be cheap too. Let's not pretend and act like Patrick Wisdom doesn't have any value. That's why I think it is fair to get Crochet and Moncada.
That was the original
deal. But the Sox guys
Yes.
said no to that. They're not. They don't want to give up Crochet. But
that's what,
again, it's a very interesting conversation.
That's what Joel wants too. He wants Crochet, and I agree. In my eyes, that would be the Cubs fleecing the White Sox. If you can get the risk reward on Moncada and also get Crochet, who could turn out to be your Dylan Cease this time around, okay. In fact, I might even be willing to throw in another piece just to get Crochet, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the Sox guys alone were pushing back, no. Now, understand, they say no to everything I suggest. And they're saying the Sox and Rick Hahn would say no. I agree. So the furthest I could go in the deal on my end, pretending to be Jed Hoyer, was to give that offer and just take back Moncada, which is not a slam dunk for the Cubs. It's a risk. I'm just saying it might be a risk I'm willing to take. Would I much rather add in Crochet and the Cubs throw in Givens to sweeten the deal a little bit? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'd consider that Patrick Wisdom for Crochet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're going there either. Because I think they realize they're not going to do it this year.
It just comes down to how much the Sox want to like get this train turned around. They're under 500. Like it's similar to the Cubs situation in 2017 with the Quintana trade. It absolutely is.
How desperate are
How
they
desperate
in
are
this
you?
window?
Exactly. How desperate are you? I don't think that this deal will ever happen. I don't think there'll ever be any conversation.
It's not even on the table that we know of.
That's kind of the side the Cubs are on this time around. No, we don't want to be in this situation, but there has to be other teams out there with similar type players.
Corey's thinking about this, and by the way, Robbie says he wants blue chip prospects. They don't have any. Like that's why the original deal was
the White Sox farm system is not very good.
I always want Vaughn. I try to find somebody they're upset with that still has value.
Looking at this briefly, I think I'm with Cody. I would need more than that because So, like, Moncada has had 2 seasons where he's been worth more than 4 wins above replacement. Those are big seasons.
Big.
But he's also got 3 where it's like right around 1. And looking at it really quickly, I don't know what's going on this year. So if I'm trading guys, I'm with Ravi. I would rather be looking at. They don't have the prospects.
No, they don't.
But I'd rather be talking to somebody
some other
else.
team with prospects.
Because unless I dug into this and I was really confident, like, here's what's happening with Moncada this year, and this is what's going to get him out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, a question mark.
You don't want the next Madrigal question mark. Now, the only thing
well, we know he can hit the ball out of the infield at least.
Well,
so
and he can hit. He can hit, period.
Yeah.
Like, he's shown you that there's a high ceiling.
Right.
And sitting here on this panel, Cody and I talking, Cody's like, I want guys that are closer to the majors. I don't want 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody. If Yohan Moncada is still simply, this is what a lot of Sox fans think, simply still recovering from COVID. He's a long-termer that hasn't turned it around yet. If he's going
also
to.
been hurt twice this year.
But like that's
like, but is that from long-term COVID that
but
he's
the
breaking
variable
down?
with that is that, like, kind of as a society, we don't really know.
No.
Does he ever shake that? We don't really know. So if I'm trading Happ at what maybe some believe is his peak value, I'd rather get a more consistent major league contributor or somebody in the middle or higher levels of some team's minor league system that can kind of just, like, go on that trajectory. I don't need the Cubs figuring out this
I'm trying
problem.
to sit in their shoes, and I'm looking at them, and they're probably saying the same things you're saying about Moncada we could say about Happ. And it is true.
Fair.
But I'm trying to save your season this year. I'm trying to give you a way.
Trying to fix it now.
That I'm trying to give you a window. You got 1 or 2 more years in this window before you have to start making some big decisions. And I'm giving you a shot to try and catch up to the Astros, the Yankees,
and
Cleveland.
I have gone on record on this show saying that the Cubs should not trade Ian Happ. So it would have to be something like this that I would be happy about. If they manage to get Moncada and Crochet for Happ, Wisdom, and throw in or whatever, I would be very happy with that return.
I don't really love the last couple times we've dealt with them. I might
don't
not
either,
even
but-
call them.
Yeah.
So I might just call somebody else.
We were talking
call the
about
Pirates
it
or something
for the
like that. You know what I mean?
We're talking about it for the
Yeah.
sake of
Yeah.
the city. I don't know.
I'm just.
Yeah.
It's
I
just a
prefer
team we
them
know
to
a
not
little
talk
bit
with the
more
White
about.
Sox either.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also,
Wise.
frankly, not interested in helping them this year.
Yeah.
This
Well,
seems like
I'll
their
be honest
problem
with you, I
to
don't
deal
think
with.
it solves their
so,
problems. That's why I think it's still
Yeah.
good deal for the Cubs. All right, who you got? Let's do it real quick. Who are we picking for tonight's game? I went with Ian Happ because we're showcasing him trade value.
We're also, Ryan's taking Wisdom because apparently we're showcasing him too.
That's right. First 2 guys in the trade.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know that was my
Nico
deal.
Horner, though, here to stay, been red hot. We're riding bets on him. I'm riding him for who you got because I need to extend my lead. So let's ride Nico.
I'm taking Nelson. I'm gonna go the young guy. Gonna have a big night, I think.
I like him right
Happy
there in
to
6-hole, man.
see him get a couple starts. Let's see what he can do.
I see Carlos Rodon finally just chimed in and says, "How's Nick Madrigal doing so far?" I don't think that's
Why
really
are you
Carlos
here,
Rodon.
bro?
Carlos Rodon needs to change his uniform and his profile picture.
Yeah.
This conversation may be continued in post if the Sox guys are still here, because then their
Well, their
response
game's
was,
starting later, so they're going to be sitting over there while we talk about
right,
it.
and then they also were the ones that threw out, what's up with Nico? What would it take? And I said, well, we can start with Andrew Vaughn, and then it was thanks for talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so, anyways, Cubs, Reds, can they win? We will see. We like the lineup. We like Steele. I actually like their chances tonight.
Jack's with me with Nelson.
They are.
Going with Nelson.
last
All right,
guy's
Jack,
slot.
you got
Vegas
it.
has
Let's
them as
ride.
a favorite tonight. I don't know what that means, but I'm ready to be hurt again, guys.
Yeah, me too. I got to go get some ice cream. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs pregame show. We'll see you after the game. Hang out with us for an hour after the final out. We'll see you then. All right. Trade. Whoop, whoop.